The first time I drifted past one of these, I did not understand what I was looking at. My instrument said one thing, my eyes said another, and the part of my brain that grew up on a small blue planet, the part that was built for grass and weather and the smell of rain, just sort of quietly shut down. It refused. It said, "No, this is not a real place. This cannot be a real place." But it was, and it is, and there are more of them. I want to tell you about 10 of them tonight. 10 places in the universe that your mind, no matter how hard you try, will not fully accept. You can read the numbers. You can see the diagrams. Some part of you will still flinch and say, "That is not real." Stay with me here. They are all real. I have looked at most of them, and I am still figuring out how to talk about it. We start somewhere small, or what passes for small out here. There is a star about 400 light years from where you are sitting. Its name is Betelgeuse. You have probably seen it. It is the orange shoulder of Orion, the hunter, the one your grandparents pointed at on cold winter nights. It is a red supergiant, and it is dying. When I say dying, I do not mean the way a candle dies. I mean it has burned through its hydrogen and its helium, and it is now fusing heavier and heavier elements in panicked, desperate layers. And at some point, possibly tomorrow, possibly in 100,000 years, it will collapse on itself and detonate as a supernova so bright you will be able to read by it at midnight for weeks. Here is the part that gets me. Light takes about 640 years to reach us from Betelgeuse. So when you look up at it, you are not seeing it now. You are seeing it as it was during the lifetime of someone who never heard the word electricity. It might already be gone. The light just has not caught up to the news yet. There is a place in the sky you are looking at right now that may not exist anymore. I had to look that one up twice. The next place is colder. Much colder. There is a cloud out there called the Boomerang Nebula. It is roughly 5,000 light years away, and it is the coldest known natural object in the universe. 1 degree above absolute zero. Colder than the leftover heat from the Big Bang itself. Think about what that means. The microwave background, the faint warmth that fills all of space, the echo of the universe being born. This nebula is colder than that echo. It is, in a real sense, colder than everything around it. A pocket of the universe that has somehow gone quieter than the silence. I floated near its edge once, or as near as anything counts as edges out there. The instruments do not lie. The numbers came back, and I sat with them for a long time. We are not built to imagine cold like that. None of us are. Now I want to take you somewhere louder. There is a black hole at the center of a galaxy cluster called Perseus. It is enormous, even by black hole standards, and it is doing something the team that figured this out had to listen to very carefully to hear. It is humming. The black hole is releasing pressure waves into the gas around it. And those pressure waves are, in the most literal physical sense, sound. A note. One single sustained note that has been playing for 2.5 billion years. The note is a B flat, 57 octaves below the lowest key on a piano. You cannot hear it. No human will ever hear it. But it is playing right now. It was playing while the dinosaurs were alive. It was playing before there were dinosaurs. It will keep playing long after the last person on Earth has forgotten what a piano was. I think about that one a lot. Something out there is singing. It does not know we exist. It does not care. The fourth place is a planet. Sort of. It is called HD 189733b, and it is about 63 light years from you. And from a distance, it looks beautiful. A deep cobalt blue, the kind of blue you would expect from a world covered in oceans. You would book a ticket. You would pack a swimsuit. You would die. The blue is not water. The blue is a thick atmosphere of silicate particles, glass essentially. And the planet is so hot that its winds reach speeds of around 5,400 miles per hour. So when I tell you it rains on this world, I need you to understand. It rains glass. Sideways. At 7 times the speed of sound. A whole planet, the color of a summer afternoon on Earth, where every drop of weather would shred you down to atoms before you ever hit the ground. The universe has a sense of humor. It is not a kind one. I want to slow down here for a second, because the next one is hard for me. There is a star, or the corpse of one, called PSRJ 1748-2446AD. I know, the names are not poetry. This object is what we call a pulsar, a neutron star, the leftover crushed heart of a sun that died and did not have quite enough mass to become a black hole. It is about 12 miles across, the mass of 2 suns, squeezed into something the size of a small city. A teaspoon of it would weigh as much as a mountain on Earth. If you dropped a marshmallow onto its surface, the impact would release more energy than every nuclear weapon humanity has ever built, combined. And this particular one is spinning 716 times per second. Stop and try to feel that. A city-sized object, denser than anything you can imagine, rotating so fast that its surface is moving at about a quarter of the speed of light. If it were any faster, it would tear itself apart. It is, right now, the fastest known spinning thing in the universe. And there are billions of pulsars out there, all turning, all blinking their lighthouse beams into the dark, most of them never seen by anyone. That one took me a while. Let me take you somewhere even less believable. There is a region of space, about 10 billion light years away, called the Boötes Void. And there is nothing there. I do not mean a little less than usual. I mean a sphere of space 330 million light years across, almost completely empty. We expected when we first looked to find galaxies the way you find galaxies anywhere else. Dense clusters, filaments, the cosmic web. Instead, we found a hole. The astronomer who first measured it said that if the Milky Way had been in the center of the Boötes Void, we would not have known other galaxies existed until the 1960s. Imagine being a civilization born in that silence, looking up your entire history and seeing only your own stars, believing with absolute certainty that you were alone. We almost were that civilization. We just got lucky. Now, I want to tell you about a place that I genuinely had to sit with before I could talk about it on camera. There is a galaxy, well, a quasar really, called TON 618. A quasar is the heart of a young galaxy, where a supermassive black hole is feeding so violently that the matter spiraling into it glows brighter than every star in the galaxy combined. TON 618 has a black hole at its center that is about 66 billion times the mass of our Sun. Its event horizon, the line past which nothing comes back, is wider than our entire solar system, many times wider. If you replaced our Sun with this black hole, its shadow would extend past the orbit of Pluto and keep going for a long, long time after that. And it is just sitting out there, 11 billion light years away, doing what it does, eating. I have looked at this one a few times now. It does not get easier. I want to step back here. I want to do something different for a moment, because I know how this sounds. I know I have been laying it on thick. Cold places, loud places, glass rain, dead stars, a black hole big enough to swallow our whole neighborhood. If I were you, sitting wherever you are sitting, I might be starting to feel a little small, a little disposable, a little like the universe is a hostile place and we are a flicker of dust in the corner of it. Here's the thing I have to tell you. I have been out there. I have seen the dead stars and the glass storms and the singing black holes and the empty places where light forgets to go. And the strangest thing, the thing I did not expect, is that none of it made me feel disposable. It made me feel rare. Because we are. The universe is mostly empty. It is mostly cold. It is mostly indifferent. And then, in one specific corner of it, on one specific rock, there is weather. There is grass. There is the smell of bread. There is your mother. There is the dog at the foot of your bed. There is the person you texted this morning. There is the song you cannot get out of your head. That is not a small thing. In all of that vastness, I have not seen anything like it anywhere else. I have looked. Or actually, that is not quite right. Let me try again. I have not looked everywhere. Nobody has. But the people who study this, the ones I trust, they have been pointing the best instruments we have at the sky for decades, and they have not found a second place that does what your kitchen does on a Sunday morning. Not yet. Maybe one day, but not yet. Hold on to that for a second. I will come back to it. The eighth place is one I find genuinely beautiful, even though it should frighten me. It is called the Carina Nebula, about 7,600 light-years away. It is a vast cloud of gas and dust where new stars are being born by the thousand. The Hubble images of it, the ones the team released years ago, look almost painted, pillars of glowing hydrogen taller than entire solar systems, light carving caves out of the dust. But here's what those photos do not show you. At the heart of that nebula is a star called Eta Carina. It is one of the most massive stars we know about, around 100 times the mass of our Sun. And it is unstable. It has already had one false alarm, an enormous eruption in the 1840s that briefly made it the second brightest star in our sky. It survived that one. It will not survive the next. When Eta Carina goes, it will not be a normal supernova. The team that models these things thinks it will be a hypernova, and there is a chance, a real chance, that its death throes will produce a gamma-ray burst, a beam of energy so concentrated that if it pointed at Earth from that distance, it could partially strip our ozone layer. Best current models suggest the beam, if there is one, will not be aimed at us. Probably. Stay with me here. We think we are safe. We are very nearly sure. The universe just occasionally reminds us that very nearly is not the same as completely. The ninth place is one I keep coming back to in my own head. There is a galaxy called IC 1101. It is one of the largest galaxies ever observed, about 1 billion light-years from where you are. Its diameter is somewhere around 4 million light-years. For reference, our entire Milky Way is about 100,000 light-years across. IC 1101 is 40 times wider than the galaxy you live in. If our solar system were inside IC 1101, our night sky would not look like a band of milk anymore. It would be packed with stars, edge to edge, on every horizon. There would be no dark sky, no constellations the way you know them. The night, as a concept, would barely exist. There are something like 100 trillion stars in that one galaxy. 100 trillion. And for almost all of them, no one has ever sent a thought in their direction. Until, I guess, right now. You and me, looking that way, together. The last place I want to take you is the strangest one, because it is not a place exactly. It is a possibility. There is something called a Boltzmann brain. The physicists who work on this, the ones who think hard about probability and the heat death of the universe, have raised the question of whether random fluctuations in a sufficiently old, cold, empty cosmos could spontaneously assemble a conscious mind, just for a moment. A brain with memories and a sense of being someone, popping into existence out of pure quantum noise, looking around at the dark and dissolving again before it can finish a thought. If the universe lasts long enough, and the math suggests it will, There will eventually be more of these flickering, accidental minds than there ever were biological brains like yours, by an unimaginable margin. I do not know what to do with that one. I do not think anyone does. The team that runs these scenarios mostly treats it as a paradox to be solved, a sign that something in our models is incomplete. I am inclined to agree, but sometimes, when it is quiet, I think about it anyway. Somewhere in the deep future, after the last star has burned out, a mind will assemble itself in the dark, just long enough to wonder what is happening, and then it will be gone. I hope it gets a nice thought before it goes. Let me bring this back down, because I owe you a reality check. Most of what I have just told you is real. The numbers are checkable. Betelgeuse is dying. The Boomerang Nebula is colder than the cosmic background. The Perseus black hole is humming its B-flat. HD 189733b really does rain glass sideways. The pulsar really does spin 716 times a second. The Boötes Void is really mostly empty. TON 618 is really that big. Carina is really that violent. IC 1101 is really that wide. The Boltzmann Brain is theoretical. It is a thought experiment. The physicists I trust are not telling you it definitely happens. They are telling you that if you take some current models seriously, you have to take this consequence seriously too. That is different. I want to be honest about that. And Eta Carina. The gamma-ray burst risk is real, but small. Probably misaligned. Probably not in our lifetimes. We would see it coming for a while. Probably. The universe is genuinely terrifying. It does not need me to exaggerate it. So here is where I leave you. You are sitting somewhere on Earth right now. Probably on a couch, maybe in bed, maybe on a train. Above your head, past the ceiling, past the clouds, past the thin shell of blue that keeps the cold out, all of this is happening. Right now. The glass is raining. The black hole is singing. The dead star is spinning. The empty place is staying empty. The brain in the far future is waiting to wake up for half a second. And you are here. Warm. Breathing. Probably about to put the kettle on. The universe has spent 14 billion years building the conditions for that exact small moment, and somehow it managed it, and somehow you are the one having it. I do not think that is a small thing. I do not think you should let anyone tell you it is. If you want to sit with me through another one of these, the next one I am working on is about the things that would happen to your body, minute by minute, if the sun went out tonight. It is not as dark as it sounds. Or, well, it is. But there is something tender at the end of it. There usually is, if you look for it. I will see you there.